Good morning, Rainmakers. It's Priyan here from Rain Realty. And as you can see, I have changed my background. I've made it more inspirational for all of you to see. I spent a little bit of time unpacking my boxes and really sort of trying to get settled into my office. So this is the first room in my new house. Now I've actually now got a space which feels like a real home in terms of all the boxes that have been emptied. And as you can see, I've got my memorabilia here in terms of my books and a few ornaments and things that I wanted to show you. So I thought it's really good and really important in life as a whole to have memories. Not just memories and attachments like, Ferraris and watches and stuff like that, but memories that really resonate with you and make you feel, special. So to give you an example, this flag here is when I got my hole-in-one in Sri Lanka. Basically, it is not many people know as golfers that to get a hole-in-one is very rare. Some golfers actually go all their life without getting a hole-in-one. And I can tell you that when I got that hole-in-one, it was the most amazing feeling ever. You feel so euphoric, it's unexplainable. The whole day I was just so energized. I couldn't sit down, I couldn't stop grinning. And what I want you to take from that is that, if you can find that passion, that love, that sort of resonance that you have within your work in real estate, then every day when you wake up in the morning, you will have that passion, that desire. So when you get a sale, it won't feel like just a sale. It will feel amazing, like getting a hole-in-one. So number one, if you feel like that every day, you'll most probably die, if I'm being honest. The reason is because you'll have so much energy, so much enthusiasm that you wouldn't be able to sleep at night even. So what you do is that hole-in-one isn't a sale. The hole-in-one is for you to reach your $1 million, for example, or million subscribers, a real big figure, something that is, everybody would think you're outrageous and really stupid to get, but everyone would say to get a hole-in-one is outrageous. For example, my friend Amrit, he plays on +2, been playing golf all his life. Amazing golfer. He's been gone to the pier in America and studied in David Lepberger's academy and stuff, and he does not have a hole-in-one. So there I am and telling him I've got a hole-in-one. He's like, oh my God, I still haven't got a hole-in-one, because he plays really safe and tries to sort of not aim at the pin too much, because that's what you're meant to do, but he hasn't actually got lucky. Now, I did get really lucky because my hole-in-one is actually special as well, because what happened was I hit the ball on the right-hand side on the 16. It hit the cart path, went 90 degrees right over a bunker, landed on the green and went in. So it's not like I even just hit it in and it hit the green and went in, it hit the path and went to the right. So that was a really lucky hole-in-one. Everyone says it's not real, who are a little bit jealous, I guess, but a hole-in-one is a hole-in-one. You get no marks for the design or what happened, but my story is better, I feel. Now also, like you can see up here, I've got stuff like a cigar box from Cuba, where my best friend Paul had his 50th birthday, and he just told us all to fly there, and he then paid for everything and did everything. It was one of the most amazing trips. If you've not been to Cuba, go. It's a super amazing place. One thing I remember about Cuba, other than the cigars, is the actual American cars they had. So if you imagine Grease Lightning and all those cars they had with the flames and the pink wheels and everything, these cars one day came to pick us up, 20 of them parked in, and they were amazing. They were brand new, shiny, clean, and they looked the part. So therefore, it was so mesmerizing. That was one thing. We did tango dancing, learned how to make, now what did they drink in that? Sangria, I think, or something. But yeah, it was amazing. So all these things are memories. Why are they memories? They are memories because of the fact that I've moved to Dubai. It's a new place, it's a new home, it's a new environment for me. And I want to have these memories with me as attachments for what I've fulfilled, what I've done, where I'm from, because of the fact that that makes me feel good. It makes me feel grounded. Yes, I have my family around me, my son and Nimmi as well, my two dogs, Tyson and Otto. but ultimately they're always around me. So because they're always around me, the memories with them are sort of in together as one. So therefore, it's not like I have a special memory when I see my wife. I have plenty of memories, and it then becomes the normal. Whereas when I see this shell, this reminds me of Sri Lanka when we went to the beach together. This actual cocktail menu is where me and my wife actually decided to go, not on a date, but I said to my wife, Jen, that at the time I said, I'm going to try and drink all these cocktails. And her friend, her name, I can't remember her name now, Rita, I think it was lived above this place. So I said, why don't we do it? Now, really what I was trying to do was lure my Jen, who wasn't my wife at the time, to come along and join us. So because she knew Rita, she said, okay, I'll join you. So we had a pact. Every day or every other evening when we were free, we would meet up and drink one of these cocktails and we would sign it. So the idea was that we would go through the whole menu. I mean, there's loads of pages here. And eventually we only actually drank the first page of cocktails. But those things sort of remind me of the times that we were together. I've got a dad's book from my son, which says you're the best dad ever, and that was in 2020. So you can see that's 5 years ago, and that memory to me feels like today. It makes me feel special, it makes me feel cared for, and gives me sort of energy and groundness. Now, why am I telling you all this about my background? The reason I'm telling you is because, as I said, I've moved to Dubai, and moving to a new country is tough enough as it is. It's not easy. Settling into a new sort of environment, a new community, a new sort of nationality. There's things to learn, how to do things, and it hasn't been easy. It's difficult. It's for anybody anywhere. Even if you get everything arranged for you, like packing and all this kind of stuff, those are just physical things. And that's what you have to remember about real estate as well, in terms of any job that you do. The physical things about, coming into work, sitting down at your computer, getting the work done, those are all the physical things. But ultimately, the best people in anything, even sports, what differentiates them between being good or bad and being superhuman is the mind. Yeah, it's the mind. It's how you think. It's the 1% difference between a professional golfer and the really, really good golfers is their mind. It's what is between your 2 ears. Now, you might say, oh, don't be silly, But if you think about a golfer, there's so many different ways they hit the ball. There's so many different styles. It doesn't matter how you hit the ball because you all can get to A to B. But it's when you come down to those putts and those pressure moments and those decisions that your mind has to work in a certain way. And if you've trained your mind to work in that way, then it helps you to achieve your goal. So in real estate, for example, you need to have a clear mind in terms of what you want to do, how you want to do it, and a game plan for the week. So going back to Dubai, it's easy having everybody do things and come to things, but mentally it was very draining. I was flying down from May, leaving the family behind, coming along, and when I come to Dubai, I'm like, oh, where am I going to live? There's so many different communities in Dubai. Damak Hills, Dubai Hills, Jumeirah Golf Estate, Jumeirah Islands, the Palm, and they're all priced differently and they all have a different vibe. So as a real estate agent myself, I wanted now not only to know about these communities, but I also wanted to know these communities for my job, right? So therefore, it is draining going from one place to another, having a look, trying to stay calm. Now, the reason why you have to stay calm is that if you're going to be tired and you're not going to resonate with a certain community, you may not resonate with the community now because you're tired. So for example, if you've got viewings, you're also going to not go do the viewing properly if you're tired. So you've got to have energy. So I made sure I drank lots of water. I made sure that I had breaks in between going to a certain community. And then when I went there, I sort of said to myself, okay, reset, get back to normal, and then go. Because also you have to remember I was dealing with different agents as well. So I need to get to know the agents and find out what the agents do and whether they knew what I wanted to know. So this journey from May up until I think June, July, happened 3, 4, 5, 6 times. Coming to Dubai, I stayed at the Grosvenor House hotel. Literally, all the people in the hotel knew who I was. Hello, Mr. Demel, how are you? Are you back to find a property? Would you like the same room? You know, I sat down for dinner and they'd like, oh, would you like your same Caesar salad and drink? Because I've been there so many times now. You know, most people wouldn't come to Dubai on holiday and not come back for a while. But as like a businessman, I guess the same thing. You're coming and going so often that they get to know you. But it was nice because it felt like family, which gave me a bit of grounding, same as the bookcase. Now, so after basically finding out where to go, my family came down and we eventually decided to live in Jumeirah Golf Estate due to my friend Nicholas, who helped me sort of find it. But our budget went up. It started off at a very low budget and nearly doubled, 3/4 the price. Why? Because of the fact that me and my family, especially my son Rafi of 7 years old, has lived in 5 places now. I think this may be his 6th place to live in. And we thought to ourselves that it's amazing that he actually can live in anywhere, whether it be a hotel or not, and understand about wherever the family is his home. But we wanted to give him a permanent base. So therefore, hence we increased our exposure, spent a lot of money, and got this house. Now that put me under a little bit of financial pressure because of the fact that I'm moving to Dubai and now I needed to earn money. So therefore, I was happy to have that pressure. Why? Because I always feel you need to grow. You need to get better. And if you stay in your comfort zone and just stay where you are, you're never ever going to grow and get better. So I said to my wife, we've been comfortable for many years. We've lived in Sri Lanka for 4 years and had an amazing life. But I am going to stretch us now. We're not going to spend as much money as we can or have done in the past. We have to be careful. And I have to restart my journey on real estate in Dubai to try and find money. So that pressure is good. And in terms of your real estate, when you're working, you need to put yourself under pressure, but a pressure that you can handle. Not pressure in terms of, I have to find this and I have to do this and you don't have any money to eat or drink. Because as I said, eating, drinking, having energy is super important. You have to sort of put some pressure on yourself in trying to achieve for the impossible. Because if you don't try to achieve for the impossible and dream to be big, you will never be big. If you aim for here, you will get here. If you aim for the stars, you will get to the stars. And even if you don't get to the stars, ending up at somewhere in between is super amazing. And it's about trying and getting there. So, Dubai as a whole, I've got now to my house and now I have to decide what to do. What I did was I went and worked for a company called Aspas, great company, had a lot of sort of energy and focus, and I worked there for 3 months. Now, during those 3 months, I didn't do a sale. I was trying, but I didn't do a sale. Now, I realized that the market in Dubai is totally different from the market in the UK. In the UK, I basically, from the day I started at Foxtons, I was their #1 agent, and I basically sold 69 properties in a year, which is a record, more than 1 property a week. However, coming to Dubai, what the difference is that I have to be Foxtons as a whole. I have to do my own branding, I have to do my own marketing, I have to do my own lead generation, and in order to get lead generation, you need to go on Property Finder. In order to get on Property Finder, you need to get a property. In order to get a property, you need to then advertise. But how do you advertise without the property? Then if you do find somebody to give you a property, then they ask you what you've sold in the past and you say nothing. Luckily, you have Aspas as a brand. That's why you most probably work for a brand. And you sort of say to them, well, Aspas has sold lots of properties and they know them. But ultimately, it's a very big chicken and egg story and it's very difficult. So if you think you're going to come to Dubai and you're going to make money straight away from the beginning, you've got to rethink it. I was experienced, I had a lot of knowledge. I still have a lot of knowledge. You have to take it as a 1-year process, to be fair. If you do it quicker and happen to get lucky and get a sale, fantastic. But in order to be successful in real estate in Dubai, you have to have a 1-year plan and treat it like a business. You have to put in the groundwork, you have to put in the establishment, and you have to really work out, like a business, how you're going to do your branding, how you're going to do your networking, and what are you going to do in order to build up your clientele. Now, I think September, October, November, December, January, February, March, April has come around, and I will now do my first lettings deal. It's from a friend that I know in Sri Lanka, who I actually went for his 40th birthday in Dubai, met him for the first time, and I kept in contact with him. He knew what I was doing. He's moving to Dubai, and I've done my first lettings deal. Hopefully, fingers crossed today. Hurrah! First deal. So what am I going to do? I'm going to celebrate. It's not a small thing. I've sold hundreds of properties. I've made millions of pounds selling and developing properties. But I am now, after this science today, hopefully, fingers crossed, I am going to celebrate doing a lettings deal. Actually, come to think about it, it's my first lettings deal ever. Because in England, I did only sales, I didn't do lettings. So I'm actually going to sign not only my first deal in Dubai, but also my first lettings deals. Why is it important to celebrate? Because even though it's a small, minute piece of money, what it is to me is accomplishment. What it is to me is that I have done it. Everybody laughed and said, you're an old man, you can't do this, but I have got my first sale. And it's the first of many to come. Now, I am spending time doing these videos, and I am spending time educating people because it resonates with me. It makes me happy. But I am also doing real estate and trying to prove to you that even if you start from the beginning, as I have done, even with my experience, things are hard, but if you keep at it, you will do it. I also opened up an estate agent with my friends called Curzon. Fantastic agency. Those boys have a really good model. They're really trying to make things happen. But what I realized is that having a team of 5 as opposed to 2 or 3, it just means that they're different ideas of how they do things and want to do things. So therefore I left. But if you think about it, since September, since I've moved to Dubai, I've had a brand new house, moved my son into a brand new school, got 2 brand new cars, and also basically opened up a real estate company, started a YouTube channel with now hopefully coming up to 3,000 subscribers, and also looking at growing the YouTube channel and social media. I'll be also doing Instagram now as well, and also LinkedIn. So therefore, I've done a lot. Why have I done a lot? Because energy in Dubai is super amazing. You can't just sit still and wait because of the fact that the vibrance of the place is super amazing. That's why we've come here. It has energy, it has enthusiasm, it has opportunities. If you are willing to do something here and put your heart and soul into it, if you can't succeed here, then there's no way you can succeed. Now, I'm not telling you it's easy. As I said to you, with real estate, it's most probably easier going to a European country or UK or something and making money. But you're never going to get super rich from it. Whereas if I had done what I did in England in my first year at Foxtons, or carried on for 3, I would have earned £1.5 million per year. I would have earned 5 times more than I did in England in Dubai. So therefore, those are the goals and stuff that I'm looking to achieve and do. And what I'm saying to you guys as real estate agents, those are the kinds of goals that you can achieve as well. But you need to be focused. You need to understand that, you need to have a game plan, and you also need to do it. But Dubai is the place to come, and that's my journey so far, just from a sort of a financial and work progress. But watch this space and see where we go. Catch you later, Rainmakers.